Well, welcome back to another episode of Elements
of the Unknown.
I am your host, Jason Non-Exorcist McGray, and I'm here with...
Justin the Demon.
Yep, Justin Demon Infested. Well, man, we left off with some information on Gabriel, the Exorcist, and a bunch of movies. And
am I doing it right?
Yeah, I see what you're doing.
Okay.
I see what you're doing. So for our audio listeners, we do film absolutely every episode. We have video recording. There's actually a slideshow going on right now in the background on our screen of movie exorcists and exorcists depicted in actual history and movie-made possessed people, and then actual exorcisms, and we get a photo of Gabriel and different stuff going on.
One photo of Jesus telling the demon to fuck off.
Yeah, he's like, "You're grounded, go down to your room." And so that the video content stuff, that's going to come on our Patreon when we launch that.
Yep.
We're going to have access to the library of everything that we have. You'll be able to see the videos. We're going to edit in some bonus stuff, all that stuff. You're going to see it. But for now, we're going to get right into the next part of our Exorcisms and Demonology series. You know what? Let's start. We'll let you did some research.
Yep.
We're gonna get a little more clarity on what an exorcism and stuff is, and just so you know, that intro that we just posted, that is an intro to a song by the band group called Ghost. Huge fan, love Ghost. That is an intro to one of their songs.
Yep.
We'll let you find it and tell us in the comments
what it is.
What it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, by definition, an exorcism is the religious or spiritual practice of evicting demons, jinns, or other malevolent spiritual entities from a person. No, it says malevolent. Malevolent.
What are you, Shane Pittman, all of a sudden? I can't pronounce anything.
Leave me alone.
You did a really good job saying cock.
Fuck off.
Just a blatant pause and fuck off. All right, cool. Shout out.
Do I start over again, or
no? Keep going. Malevolent. We'll pick up from your defining the different jinn or malevolent and different stuff.
Yeah, or jinns or other malevolent spiritual entities from a person or an area that is believed to be possessed. Depending on the spiritual beliefs of the exorcist, this may be done by causing the entity to swear an oath, performing an elaborate ritual, or simply by commanding it to depart in the name of a higher power. The practice is ancient and part of the belief system of many cultures and religions. And then it goes on and gives me a bunch of lists of different belief systems on how they do it. So Buddhism, Christianity, Hinduism, Islam, Judaism, Sikhism, Taoism, which is Chinese folk religion, and then it gives you a scientific view. So if you like, I can give you an example of how Hinduism looks at it. In many Hindu traditions, people can be possessed by bhoots or prets or priests, restless and often malignant beings, roughly analogous. So you have a case file, right? I hate words.
Words are hard.
Words are hard sometimes, and sometimes I can't say them. I'm gonna try that one more time. Anal ogus. Anal.
Ogres?
Anal analogous. So the word is spelled Analogous. Analogous? Anal deeds. Analogous. To ghosts and to a lesser extent demons. Why? Oh, why does Hinduism have to use such big words? I don't like it.
Why did you pick Hinduism?
Because
you should have looked before you started reading.
I don't.
You know what?
Hindu
is difficult. Let's go with Christian.
In Christianity,
I'm glad you didn't
exorcism
pick
is
Chinese. Can you pick Chinese, and then is it just a bunch of symbols?
In Taoism, exorcisms are performed when an individual has been possessed by an evil spirit for one of two reasons. So there's reasons, apparently.
Okay, yeah, let's hear it.
The victim has disturbed the ghost, regardless of intent, and the ghost now seeks revenge, or the victim has been targeted by someone using black magic to conjure a ghost to possess them.
Okay, hold on. So if you disturb a ghost, the ghost's automatic response is, "You're fucking done, pal.
But
I'm coming after you now."
But look
Revenge.
at the Chinese culture.
Okay.
They look at their ancestors, their ancestor spirits for guidance, for leadership, for health, for prayer, whatever the case. So, are you telling me that if you go talk to Uncle George in the temple and say, "Yo, what's up, Uncle George? It's me, your nephew. Just looking for some guidance here."
And he's like, "Yo, I was resting. You're done.
Yo, I'm gonna get you, boy."
Yeah.
I don't know why all of a sudden they're talking like that, but yeah, that's Chinese.
All of a sudden he's from like southern states.
The urban parts. Yo, I'm a haunt you and stuff.
Chinese ghost sounds like he's from Virginia.
You know what's amazing about all this is the fact that we can take such a serious topic that people fear,
right,
and just make complete, not fun of, but have fun with it.
You can have light with it. So
yeah,
there's a lot of serious information that we put out, but if you step back and take an objective look and you think about it like on a human level, you're like, okay, you literally said if you disturb a ghost, he's gonna seek
fuck
revenge.
You up.
He's gonna seek revenge.
Yeah.
Just for like messing with him, like, hey, nudging him.
Man,
I just want to be left alone.
I'm having a real hard time right now, Grandma. I can really use your guidance. Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
And then she just comes out of her tombstone and she's like...
A ghost purse hits you in the head.
Oh, I love this. This is amazing. Should I continue on with different stuff?
Okay, well, hold on. We got that
because there's actually a scientific view behind it.
Yeah.
So scientists have actually.
Let's hear that as opposed to. So we know there's a bunch of religions, a bunch of beliefs, and a bunch of different, similar but different views on how possession and exorcisms happen. There's even like voodoo and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It does.
Yep.
There's voodoo expels and
yeah. So voodoo dolls are said to possess the spirits of the dead.
I have a voodoo doll home. It's never been used. I definitely want to do an experiment.
We could do something with it.
Yeah, that's video content.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Science. Let's hear some science stuff. That's right down my alley.
So, under the scientific view, demonic possession is not a psychiatric or medical diagnosis recognized by either the DSM-5 or the ICD-10. I'm not too sure what either of those are. I'm assuming they have to do with like the sign, like doctor boards something like that. They have
something to do with science. Yep. Doctors of science.
This is hard. Those who profess a belief in demonic possession have sometimes ascribed to possession The symptoms associated with physical or mental illnesses, such as hysteria, mania, psychosis, Tourette's syndrome, epilepsy, schizophrenia, or dissociative identity disorder. So pretty well what it sounds to me is they're more so tacking demonic possessions as like a mental illness.
Yeah, that's what I was getting from that. So they're pretty much saying it's anything but a demon.
Yeah.
It's because their science is saying, you know what, that a demon doesn't exist. Your demon is schizophrenia. That's the demon. That's the name of the demon.
Or Tourette's syndrome.
Or yeah, you're going around just swearing. I mean, that sounds fun, but
I do that on a day-to-day basis. That doesn't mean I have Tourette's syndrome, and you know.
No, but Tourette's is like you blurt out random words. It's not always swearing.
No, there's like tics and stuff like that too, and I, you know, like there's.
But they're saying like that. That's your possession. And basically when science is saying that's what your possession is, there's a flip side of that coin that if you had Tourette's and you had tics, possibly, I don't know about nowadays, but because we have those diagnoses, but in old days, if you had been doing those things, they would have called a priest in to exorcise a demon because they thought you were possessed.
So
you're going around talking about hot dogs, and they're like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? You just keep talking about hot dogs. Get the demons out of him.
He's possessed by the Oscar Mayer wiener.
Yeah. Get it out of there.
So, one thing that kind of just popped in my head, have you ever seen or even heard of a Tourette's attack?
Yeah, it's where they go like they get like a whole bunch of tics, right? And
So,
okay, tell me about it.
Apparently, it's very painful.
Oh.
Their muscles contract.
Yep.
They go into almost like a convulsion.
Do they contort as if like the people like being possessed
they're like,
and stuff? Justin's doing an image of this.
Okay, so for those who are listening, I'm
Justin's
trying to describe.
He's going to do a Tourette's attack and a demon
No, I'm not going
to
to mimic it. I'm just going to kind of give you the idea because I do not want to take away from what those people suffer from.
No, that's the serious side. That's a serious thing.
All jokes aside,
we're dealing with the unknown side.
Yes, all jokes aside, they go through immense amounts of pain.
That's terrible.
I watched this one video. There's this guy on TikTok whom I follow. He exposes the day-to-day life of what it's like to suffer from Tourette's syndrome. Mm-hmm. And he posts his Tourette's attacks. And what it looks... So he starts, like, his neck starts, like, arching back. And he starts doing, like, a little twitch. And then it moves down into his body. And his whole body starts convulsing and, like, tensing up. And his hands are like doing one it like almost like clenching in a way. Yeah. And his whole back goes up, and by 10 seconds in,
I can
the
imagine
person is
like,
just in tears.
It's got to be like all your muscles are just tensing really hard.
So from that standpoint, people are probably putting those two together. Maybe. Back in the day, like, oh, this person's having a Tourette's attack. No, they're possessed by a demon. Because if you look at Hollywood media, if you look at when somebody's being possessed by a demon, they're doing that exact thing.
Okay, I gotta stop you for
sure,
100%. Sorry, 1 second here. I as our listeners may or may not know, your studio is in your house in the basement. You've built. I can't even say we. You've built us a beautiful studio. Is there anybody home right now?
No.
And we just heard a thump upstairs while talking about...
I tried to ignore it.
I know, okay. So I don't know if the audio picked it up. We heard a big thump upstairs while we're talking about demons.
That's the second time.
So that's fine. I just wanted to bring attention to that. We do get... because we're talking about this subject matter.
And I guess, you know what, that's something that we kind of took
maybe
an oath to.
attracting that energy. So I just wanted to bring it so that it's known that the listener can and the viewer can see... We're actually getting activity while
So one thing I do want to say real quick before we go on.
Yep.
I do not accept this negative energy.
Right.
I do not allow this a negative energy into my household.
Right.
If there is a negative energy in my household, I wish it to leave.
Okay. Well, you just exercised it.
That's what.
And we got Robin down here to protect
That's kind of
us.
like a behind the scenes, guys. Whenever and kind of like a bit of advice to you guys. If you guys feel any negative energy, simply just don't allow it. I know it sounds easier.
No, it's good.
But
there's
it's just that easy.
You know what? As a good example, I'm gonna reference another podcast because I fully believe in this community supporting itself, supporting each other. If you go and listen to the Haunted Objects podcast with Greg and Dana Newkirk, there is an episode. Mom and Dad. There's an episode about witchcraft and hexes and curses.
Yeah.
If you go and listen to that episode, towards the end of the episode, Dana talks about how to break a hex or a curse. And in that explanation, I'll let people go listen to it. But just briefly, they talk about positive energy and being the best thing that could possibly break negative energy. So during a ritual, to give herself into a positive energy mode, she talks about how she watches Dumber and Dumber because it makes her laugh.
Yeah.
And that laughter is a positive energy that combats a negative energy.
So quick side note on that topic. My wife, she will watch a scary movie.
Yeah.
But afterwards she's
has to watch
something comedy because
unlike my sadistic mind, I'm like, that was great, let's watch another and then go to bed.
Same. If I could do it, I would. But anytime I watch something scary, it's with my wife. And I don't know, she likes the movies, what she does, but I think it's under that same mindset that she feels like a negative energy after watching a horror flick.
It throws your subliminal heebie-jeebies up. It gets you on edge, and it makes the atmosphere feel kind of hyped up. And all that stuff can be attributed to exorcisms and exorcists as well, because it's dealing with those spirits, dealing with that negative energy, and expelling it. And that's I'm trying to circle it around for us. Sure. I know we're trying to talk about all kinds of stuff, but ghosts and negative energies. You didn't even say Bigfoot. And then you're eating a Bigfoot. That all it all comes hand in hand. Mm-hmm. Do you got more on the science stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So I do kind of want to go on. Additionally, there is a form of monomania called demonomania. Here we go again.
Something like a denomenon. Something like a demonon.
Demon.
Is that the French snowman? Denom. It's a demon snowman.
Who comes up with these fucking words?
This year at St. John Baptiste Day, Banom is going to come bring candy. But if you've been bad, Demon Nanum is going to come and give you coal. Sorry. Okay. Let's
bring it back.
Yep. So something with the word demon in it.
I'm going to try and say it slowly.
Okay, I'm not going to look at you so that we don't laugh.
Demonomania,
okay,
or demonopathy, in which the patient believes that they are possessed by one or more demons. The illusion that exorcism works on people experiencing symptoms of possession is attributed by some to placebo effect and the power of suggestion. That's interesting.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like
power of suggestion.
Power of suggestion. Like, here's a sugar pill. It'll cure you of all illnesses. Yep. That's a placebo. Is a sugar pill.
But that can work both ways. Like, that's a two-way highway. Like, I could give you the placebo effect that you are going to become possessed by a demon tonight, and like in some kind of way. Like, you know what? If you keep eating those Bigfoot, a demon's gonna come, and that'll be the end of it. Yep. I don't know what he's doing. He's walking around like Bigfoot right now.
We're a fucking mess.
Yep, we are a mess. Do you got more?
I love the scientific
Yeah,
look
the
at it.
information. I want to keep going. I love it.
Some cases suggest that supposedly possessed persons or are actually narcissists or have low self-esteem and act demonically possessed in order to gain attention.
I could see it.
Yeah.
And I think you know what? I think that circling back to remember I was telling you about the case, for the Exorcist movie, the real case about Mannheim, how they had a Reverend Bishop come in, and he has to document. That's part of that process,
Mm-hmm.
because he's trying to determine. Has to take an objectified look, even though he's a religious priest, and he has his faith and he strongly believes in that. He has to weed out all those
Yeah.
scientific things that you're talking about,
Yep.
and make sure he's not asking for an exorcism on somebody who has schizophrenia and is not actually possessed by a demon.
Mm-hmm.
He has to discern that. And I think that's why Gabriel Amorth says, I've done tens of thousands of exorcisms, but only 94 of them had actual possessions.
Yeah.
So it's not, demons and possession is not as common as a lot of people believe that they are. A lot of people are like, oh, there's a demon, there's a demon. Every time you're ghost hunting, there's a demon. No, there's not. There's a whole lot of misconception and belief and a whole bunch of reasons like you just listed that
Mm-hmm.
could be causing an issue or things like that.
So I'm not going to go too much further into it because it does go into quite some detail. It sources out a psychiatrist. It sources out a Roman Catholic priest, Malachi Martin.
Yep.
The source that I'm using, whether or not the information that I'm reading off to our listeners, whether it's factual or statements just written in, because the source that I'm using, it uses anybody can input whatever they want.
You can Google search and you've just described it. People will know where you're looking, but you can Google search stuff. Yeah, and you can find all kinds of information. We were pulling out of there, though, the stuff that seems interesting in fact, scientific and religious belief. I have a bit of a case file before we finish this episode. Because we wanted to touch on what kind of they were, get a better understanding, and then give a bit of a story of one as an example.
Sure.
So that kind of people can see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did is, instead of just looking up the most famous or something, because I didn't want to end up just finding stuff on the Exorcist again, I Google searched the most recent one. I said most recent exorcism, and then I just picked one. So I'll read a bit off of it. I'll kind of skim through and read, and we can banter on it a bit. This one that I found is from 2021, December 11th, 2021. And the headline off of it says, the Catholic priests perform a difficult exorcism lasting 9 hours after a young woman suddenly began convulsing and blaspheming during confession. So, interesting headline, right? So, Roman Catholic priests, northern Italy. We're talking Italy here, which is fitting because that's where the church, the Roman Catholic Church is.
Of course.
They did a 9-hour exorcism on a 26-year-old woman. What she did was she became violent in confession. She was hurling insults in several languages, including Latin. Several languages. So she's in confession. She just starts swearing and stuff in different languages. Now, okay, you and I could look up a bunch of different swear words in different languages and start hurling. That's fine. So, but that's our objective mind trying to think about how it could be or could not be. The woman, though, who they didn't name, she arrived in the St. Mary of Mount Barico Church in Vicenza, Italy, December 5th, And there's a quotation here from Father Carlo Maria Rosato. He says the young woman had already been seen by an exorcist in Verona. He goes, but on Sunday, her parents brought her here, probably to have another go at curing the evil she had suffered from a time. The woman's father was convinced that the daughter was suffering from a psychiatric problem. Huh? Touches right on what you were talking about.
Yep.
However, the mother believed that her erratic behavior is a result of demonic influence. Okay, so we have a dad. This is very stereotypical. We have the male father figure going, no, there's a reason for this. She's being, she has this illness or something. And the mom, who's very religious, going, oh, no, she's got a demon. It needs to be exorcised.
We will exorcise the demons.
And again, crazy guy from Virginia showed up. So,
you've never heard of that before? It was in a movie or something like that. Anyways. Oh, to cut you off, did you know that Mother Teresa was possessed?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, I just read that. Mother Teresa allegedly underwent an exorcism late in life under the direction of the Archbishop Calcutta, Henry de Souza, after he noticed she seemed to be extremely agitated in her sleep and feared she might be under the attack of the evil one.
The evil one.
The evil one.
Osama bin Laden. Is that the evil one?
He was pretty fucking evil. Sorry.
No,
I seen that and I was like, brr?
So where are we here? Okay, so they're at the church. Mom and dad have conflicting beliefs. They're at the church believed to be the site of 2 miracle appearances, actually. So the church where they're at, they believe the Virgin Mary in the 15th century, she took a confession. Can we take a minute and reflect on that statement?
I'm sorry?
They're saying the church that they were in, the Virgin Mary...
The Virgin Mary.
Took...
The one who gave birth to Jesus Hussein Christ.
Showed up at this church in spirit form, I'm assuming, and took a confession.
Listen, I got something to confess.
This is the 15th century.
I wasn't actually a virgin. I was a street hoe. I worked the corner. Moses was my pimp. I just had that to confess. Going back up to heaven. Peace out.
And apparently her body began convulsing and she became highly agitated and screaming in Latin. Okay.
The Virgin Mary did, or this
no,
girl?
I think we're talking about that girl.
Okay.
I think that is what she was doing.
Okay.
The friars from the Order of the Servants of Mary. I'm not sure about that. That sounds like a side topic. The Order of Servants of Mary. I'm curious as to what that is. Called upon 80-year-old Father Giuseppe Bernardi, the official exorcist of the church. Yeah, Bernardi. I think you just mentioned Bernardi, and I do remember hearing his name before. Okay, here we go. Here's Bernardi. He goes, in the name of Jesus Christ, I order and command Satan to leave this person. That's what he was saying. He did it in that weird character voice too.
Mm-hmm. It's exactly how he did it. How else would he have done it?
That's right. The prayer.
Wait, he was Italian, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot the Buddha Bada Bada.
Listen here.
He had the
in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, I exorcise you and I command you, Satan, to get out of this fucking person.
Yeah.
Mavafangu.
yeah, that's what he said at the end of it.
Buh.
Buh. He starts it with buh.
Buh.
You know what? I can't even read any more of this. So,
do we take this seriously though? Like,
okay, well, I mean, it's just a case file. This is the story of what's happened, right? Like, he's repeating this prayer, echoing around a 15th century church as a Catholic ritual was performed. So his presence is not enough. It says 3 other friars joined the exorcism, And the Exorcist
from McDonald's or
Yep, Friar, and then plus Friar Tuck. Friar Tuck is there as well. Robin Hood sent him. Exorcists from other Italian dioceses were also contacted to participate in the prayer. So
Okay.
they're like,
they're reaching out.
yeah, it's like, okay, Bernardi, you suck. We need help. No, he doesn't suck. I'm just but they brought other people in. It's like,
They sourced out other help because they felt that maybe Bernardi just wasn't strong enough.
maybe, or just they needed multiple people to make it just more powerful. Um, let's see here. They even, oh man, they even used online Catholic news websites. Said one of the participants gave advice remotely versus via video. Like they had guys videoing in to give advice and everything.
Really?
Yeah. Um,
Okay, so this is a recent case then.
yeah, I said 2021, like a couple years ago. So, let's see here. Father Rosato, he told the news, a news source in Italy called La Repubblica, that the woman possessed was screaming and cursing. He said that the presence of evil, the presence of evil, the presence of evil one was visible.
Keep it together.
He's very evil.
Wait, they said that they used the term the evil one in that.
The presence of evil one was visible.
So same thing in that Mother Teresa one.
Yeah.
The evil one.
Yep.
So who is this evil one?
I have to imagine it would be the fallen angel of Lucifer.
You think that's who they're referring to?
I would imagine, yeah.
But hold on a second. Common misconception that people don't actually realize that Satan, Lucifer, the devil, they're all different people. It's more of a hierarchy. Did you know that?
Yeah, yeah.
That who's I think Lucifer. No, the devil is the highest or something like that. I can't remember how the hierarchy goes, but it's like Satan isn't like the devil. He is a devil, but he is not the devil. There is the leader of
like the king of hell.
the king of hell.
I've watched Supernatural. It's Crowley.
Crowley?
Crowley in Supernatural became the king of hell.
Really? Interesting. So now we got to do research and find out who the hell this Crowley creep is.
Not Aleister Crowley. That's a different topic. And also a different podcast. We could do an episode on Aleister Crowley.
Who's Aleister Crowley?
Exactly. We'll talk about it another time.
God damn it.
So let me tell you a little bit more about this case file here.
Okay, but before I completely lose my mind,
Yeah.
I'm going nuts here.
You're going nuts? Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'm trying to wrap it up for you. So, interesting enough, they people that were in the church, like worshipers and stuff,
Yeah.
they were escorted out of the church so that this exorcism could happen. So they did the exorcism in
Members
this church,
of the church?
like general members of church. Like you go to church and there was people in there, so they escorted them out because it's a 15th century church.
Sure.
They're doing the exorcism. They escorted them out and then they barred the doors so nobody could come in. Yeah, and then while they did that, police and ambulance arrived so that they could be on scene. They wouldn't even let them in. So they said after the ritual, the woman that was possessed, she fell into a deep sleep. And the friars apparently say that's a sign of a successful exorcism when the person falls asleep after.
Because all their energy was withdrawn.
Although Father Rosato said the liberation could not happen immediately, it depends on the strength of the presence and on the entity of the evil one. The stillness and silence of the sanctuary penitentiarily, suddenly torn apart by the screams and curses of the girl, The attack on a father confessor who is immediately rescued by the brothers. The flight of the faithful terrified while the room is barred from the inside. On Sunday, the Basilica of Monte Barraco was the scene of a difficult exorcism. So she was screaming and attacking those friars while they were doing that exorcism with the doors barred and nobody could get in to help. That's insane. That's the end of that case file. So apparently they exorcised her demons and she fell asleep. But can you imagine like all the screaming and cursing and then like she's attacking them? Probably like crawling up the ceiling and scratching them in the face and hissing at them and stuff. So yeah, that's one of probably thousands of case files.
So I did find one from the 1500s, which we can get into at another point in time.
Yep. On the
So with that being said, I'm doing it.
Oh, okay.
With that being said, we're going to leave it at that. Mm-hmm. Maybe we'll do the same thing as Hollow Earth and give them a little break from demonology and exorcism for a couple weeks, and then we'll bring it back.
Maybe.
We don't know. But until next time,
stay spooky.
Stay weird.